Well, that was fun. Good night at the plate. Good night on the bump. Good vibes all around for the Mariners of Motown. This is the Locked On Mariners postgame show. Colby, hit it.
You are Locked On Mariners, your daily Seattle Mariners podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Ahoy, sailors. It is Friday, May 12th, 2023. This is Tigers and Julio and Colby Patnode for the Locked On Mariners postgame show brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Thank you so much for making us your first listen after the game. Subscribe, like, and turn on alerts if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribe and leave a 5-star review on your preferred podcast platform if you like what you hear. And if you're part of the crew and rock with us every single day, let us know in the comments below. And if you want to hear from us even more, please consider signing up for our Patreon by scanning the QR code. It's right above my head. The link, as well as our social accounts, is also in the description of this episode. 9-2, the final score from Detroit. The Mariners take the first of this 3-game series with the Tigers. Old friend Matthew Boyd goes just 1 1/3 innings pitched. Mariners jumped all over him for 6 runs, 5 of them earned. Big night for a struggling Mariners offense and a big night for a struggling Mariners star. Colby, Julio back? Or what? Come on, let's overreact. Let's do it.
Julio Rodriguez.
He's all the way back. He's the best player in baseball
going to win
again.
The most valuable player award. He's going to hit 400 for the rest of the year. That's right. There you go. Facts.
That's right, baby. Facts.
Yeah.
Spin facts on the Locked On Mariners post-game show.
Sure. Obviously his best game in a long time. It's his first multi-hit game since, I believe, April 28th is what I saw. So it's been a hot minute. And he comes through, goes, 3 for 5, a home run, 4 RBI, 2 runs scored, no strikeouts, 3 hard hit balls. He was feeling it at the plate today. He looked really comfortable. And, aside from the numbers and the hits and all that stuff, that's all great. And obviously that's what you want. But I think, the most encouraging sign we've seen from Julio, today, certainly, and a little bit on Wednesday, against Texas, is that we didn't see overswinging. He wasn't trying to obliterate every single baseball. He was really focused on staying up the middle. 2 hits to left center field today and 1 to right field. The home run was to right. So just about staying up the middle, staying within yourself, not trying to hit every pitch 500 feet, not trying to swing as hard as you can. Just focus on bat speed, right? It's an old, adage that you hear, like, coaches tell their players in little league and high school, at the lower levels. It's, hey, you're not trying to swing as hard as you can. We're trying to swing as fast as you can. We want bat speed. That's what's gonna, generate a lot of power, is the speed of your swing. And Julio certainly looked like he was focused on that today instead of just, corkscrewing himself into the ground. So that's really the exciting thing about tonight. Again, no strikeouts. Really just the one really poor at bat in the first inning, got a cookie slider and he missed it. And, it's going to happen even when you're, playing well, but and when you're struggling, that little thing gets exasperated. But came back in a big way, bases loaded, got the 2-run single, kind of broke the game open a little bit there. And then the capper in the top of the ninth there with the home run into right field. So yeah, Julio looked really good. It's his best game in a long time. There were some positive signs regardless of the stat line. Again, 3 hard hit balls, didn't chase really, wasn't over swinging, wasn't corkscrewing himself into the ground, just a very measured approach at the plate, just trying to go right back up the middle, use the whole field and just focus on hitting the ball hard and not trying to hit the ball far. And it worked out. And like I said, this is Julio's best game in a while. And obviously we've talked about this a lot. The Mariners are going to go as far as Julio and Teoscar takes them. So if Julio is starting to turn it around right now, that's a welcome sight. And it comes at a good time. You have a long road trip here. You're kind of trying to push the 500 barrier behind you. You're trying to get above it to where you're no longer just kind of yo-yoing with 500. And if the Mariners find a way to win tomorrow, they'll be over 500 for the first time since opening day. And then maybe you can start to kind of try and push some distance behind you in that mark, and you can start to make up some ground that way. So yeah, huge night from Julio, hitting 3rd today, a day after hitting 6th. I don't know if that was because there was a lefty on the mound or if Scott saw 4 at-bats from Julio hitting 6th and was like, yep, he's fixed, put him 3. I don't know. I'm sure it was probably a little bit of both, but yeah, I would imagine he's probably going to hit third again tomorrow. Kind of run this thing out, see how it works. But for Julio to truly be back and for us to truly for us to
Hey.
truly feel that Julio has like arrived, he's gonna have to string a couple of these games together. Remember, Ty France had a nice day once, and it was like 2 for 4, and we're like, okay, well maybe. And it
Mhm.
wasn't until the next couple days when he continued to get hits and continued to look like the old self that we were like, Ty France is back. So I don't want to say Julio's back yet, but this is obviously a great step in the right direction. And if he comes out tomorrow, just hit the ball hard a couple times. Maybe you find a hit, maybe you draw a walk, maybe avoid a strikeout for the second day in a row. I think those will all be really positive signs, and we can really start to say that Julio is indeed on his way back.
Big win tonight for the folks in our comments section over the last few weeks that have been pounding the table for Julio to hit third. He has to hit third. We need him to hit third. You guys are idiots for wanting him to hit leadoff. Blah, 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 blah. I still stand by it. I still want him hitting leadoff
Yeah.
when he's good. When he's good.
Yeah, when he's good. Yeah, exactly.
When he's good. Yeah. Yeah. When he's back on track, I want him hitting leadoff. He's the best hitter on this team when he's at his best. And I want my best hitter taking the most at bats in this lineup.
Yep.
Not moving off of that stance, especially after one game. So don't get too cute down in the comments below. He needed this though. He absolutely needed this, and you could see it. I mean, his face said it all whenever he got him on base tonight. I was really impressed with the first run producing at bat that he had tonight. Bases loaded, 1 out. That's a situation that he's really struggled in this year, especially as of late over the course of the slump. And he goes up there, he takes the first pitch, curveball for a ball, and then doesn't do too much with a fastball on the inside third of the plate. He just loops it into left center field, 2 RBI single. That's what I want to see Julio doing in those situations. I don't, the grand slams, the 3-run home runs, all that stuff, that's going to come naturally with him. He just doesn't need to try for that. He really doesn't, because the natural talent there will take over in certain situations. But I just want him going up there thinking like, I need to drive at least one of these runs in.
Yeah.
If I don't, that's an absolute failure, right? That has to be his mindset going into every single one of those at bats. And I think we saw that tonight in that particular instance with the bases loaded and 1 out. So that was nice to see.
Indeed. Hopefully, like I said, it continues. But until I see it for another day or two, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna pump the brakes on the Julio is back wagon. And we kind of said that after his
he's
last
back.
home run.
He's back.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see. I imagine he's probably gonna, hit third again tomorrow. I'm not sure who's pitching for Detroit.
I'll look that up real quick.
But I can tell you this: not that scary of an arm. Like, Detroit is not a good team. They're on a nice little run right now, so it's good to come in and win this game early. But that is not a good bullpen. That is not really a good pitching staff outside of Eduardo Rodriguez, and that's not a good lineup. So, the Mariners have a real good shot here to at least take the series, and then get greedy, maybe go ahead and sweep. But we'll have to see how things shake out on the mound for both of these squads.
Yeah, Detroit is running out Alex Fado, former first-round draft pick in 2017. 27-year-old who made his major league debut last year, has made 1 start this year, 4 2/3 innings pitched, just 1 strikeout, 3.86 ERA, 8.45 BIP in that very, very small sample size.
Yeah,
so the
former first-round pick, he's really disappointed in Detroit.
Right, yeah. So another opportunity, in theory, for this Mariners offense.
It's always a theory with this Mariners offense.
It's always in theory. Yeah. So we'll see though. Off to a good start in this series, off to a good start in this road trip. Marco Gonzales had a good start tonight. Made 1 mistake, but overall pretty good day for the Bulldog in the Mariners rotation. We'll talk about his outing tonight and more in just a moment. But real quick, a reminder, this episode of Locked On Mariners is brought to you by So Rare. Our new sponsor, So Rare, is a revolutionary fantasy baseball game and marketplace transforming fans into owners with officially licensed digital cards featuring players from across all 30 MLB teams. And unlike other fantasy baseball platforms, So Rare managers truly own their fantasy experience, collecting, buying, selling, and competing with player cards against global opponents to win epic rewards. Win or lose, you still own your cards, and there's no cost to play. Plus, the more you win, the more you advance, collecting increasingly powerful cards and accessing next-level competitions and rewards. So Rare MLB game weeks happen twice weekly and span a 3 to 4 day cycle. And at the end of game week, so rare MLB managers who rank at or near the top of their leaderboards win a variety of rewards, which can include so rare scarcity cards, game tickets, merchandise, signed jerseys, and VIP experiences like meeting MLB stars just like Julio Rodriguez. Prizes may vary depending on the competition. Head to sorare.com/locked on. That's spelled SORARE.com to draft your team of free player cards. Set your lineup and start competing today to win epic rewards. Again, that's sorare.com/locked on to start playing today. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners post-game show. Thank you again for making us your first listen after the Mariners 9-2 win over the Detroit Tigers. And if you're going to be out and about this weekend and won't have a chance to watch the game, you can listen to the game on the Mariners hometown broadcast with SiriusXM via the SXM app. Listen to the Mariners try and win a series in Detroit, or maybe even sweep if they're feeling spicy enough. Be nice to see them do that, get 3 wins here before the road gets a little bit tougher. They got Boston and Atlanta coming up after this. That Atlanta series is going to be really, really interesting. But for now, let's focus on Marco Gonzales, who had a nice start tonight against the Tigers. Of course, it's the Tigers. We do need to say that. It is the Tigers. The Tigers are not very good, especially offensively. But Marco goes 6 innings, 2 earned runs on 1 swing of the bat. Really his only mistake of the night. He gave up quite a few hard hit balls, gave up some hits, 5 hits, only walked 1 though, struck out 2, nothing too major on that front. Just a good, solid Marco Gonzales start, right?
Yeah. First of all, put some respect on Detroit. They are in second place in the AL Central, pending the outcome of the Cleveland Guardians game.
That division is
It's bad.
garbage.
It's really
That
bad.
is
Cleveland's
garbage.
really struggling right now, so it's kind of Minnesota and everybody else. But yeah, whatever. Either way, not a good lineup, certainly on paper. They're on a nice little run lately. They've won a couple series in a row, and they're you know hovering around 500 after a really bad start. So they're certainly playing better. But yeah, this is honestly a lineup that Marco should be able to dominate. A lot of their threats are right-handed. Marco has the good changeup. He's going to be able to keep these guys on their front foot a lot. And that's exactly what he did tonight. You look at the pitch distribution here: 40% fastball, 35% changeup, 22% curveball. I think that's called, mixing it up. I think that's mixing it up pretty good. Fastball was really kind of there to change eye levels more than anything. He was up with that a lot. He was inside off the inside corner with that a lot. Was the changeup in the curveball were his 2 pitches today. He actually got 8 whiffs on 22 swings on the changeup, which is 36%. That's a pretty good number, which is interesting because it was only 2 strikeouts on the day. And the curveball was good for a different reason. He didn't get any whiffs on it, but he did get 7 called strikes on 20 curveballs. So, we just kind of add that up. You're talking about 14 of the 20 curveballs he threw were strikes. It's a good
That's
pitch to
crazy.
change eye levels. Yeah, and the changeup was excellent as well. What are we looking at here? We're looking at 30 out of 35 changeups were strikes or foul balls. So, yeah, he was throwing strikes, obviously by the 1 walk like Marco does, but it was the changeup and the curveball tonight. The fastball was there to change eye levels, to bust guys inside, just to show that he had it. Marco has essentially ditched the cutter, which is great. It was an awful pitch the last few years. He was over relying on it. He only threw it twice today. Of course, both of those balls were put in play. Well, one was put in play, one was fouled. And the one that was put into fair territory was a 104-mile-an-hour exit velo. So, yeah, he doesn't need the cutter anymore. It's not good. This is who Marco's going to be. He's going to go changeup, curveball are going to be his 2 best pitches, and then he's going to use the fastball to bust the righties inside, to go to the top of the zone, and that's really what he's going to be. The fastball is the setup pitch. It's not the primary pitch, and that's where Marco needs to be for the rest of the year. And it's just another good start, and it's, I don't know what, 4 or 5 out of his last 6. Marco's been really, really solid and giving you a really good chance to win. And that's really all you can hope for from Marco at this stage of his career. And he did it again.
And that league leading F4 for the Mariners pitching staff continues to go up, 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 up. Nice to see. Another really nice start for the Mariners. And the Mariners just overall tonight played really a complete game. No complaints on the offensive side of things. No complaints on the pitching side of things. Some hiccups here and there, like Justin Topa's throw to second base. Oof. Oof.
You're up by 5. Just run the ball to first base. There's no play that gives me more anxiety than when I see a pitcher turn around and try to throw to second. I'm like, oh, well, that's going into center field. I just assume it every time. And you know what? I'm right a disproportionate amount of time on that play.
Of course.
Just take the out at first. You're up by 5. It's the 8th. You don't need a double. Just take the 1. It's fine. It's cool. Whatever.
Yeah.
All the people just make a better throw. Yeah, that sounds great. But 95% of the pitchers in Major League Baseball can't do it better than 50% of the time. So what makes you think Justin Topa can? Especially guys who throw kind of sidearm off the mound. Those guys seem to struggle more than anybody.
Yeah. The guys that throw sidearm off of the mound they're scary when they're when they're fielding balls in the infield.
You need 6 outs. Okay, you have 5 runs to work with.
Yeah.
If you give up 1 run because you take an automatic out at first base, who cares? That's still really good. That's a good exchange rate. Jeez,
are you really ranting about this?
It bugs me.
They won 9.
I know, but they were only up by 5 at the time.
By the way, this guy was a non-believer. He DM'd me on Twitter saying that they're gonna only be up by 1 now after the Topa throw. He is a non-believer. And then after that, 3 consecutive outs.
Silly me, I assumed that Detroit would see that Topa can't field his position and just bunt it to him every time. Watch him airmail it to center field. It's not a difficult play, guys, and yet pitchers can't make it ever. It drives me nuts. Anyways, other than that, Topa was fine. Just
fine.
PFPs.
Also, I continue to forget that Taylor Saucedo is on this team, and then I'm not joking. Every time that I see him on the mound, I'm like, oh yeah, he's still on the team.
We'll see. We'll see how long it takes Baroa to get back. Murphy sounds like he's going to be ready to go here in a week or so. So
reinforcements on the way. We'll see about Munoz as well. We'll see how he's progressing. That's going to be the huge one. But don't underestimate the impact that Penn Murphy has had in this bullpen and could have once he returns, and Perlander Baroa as well. That's a potential, high upside arm there. Baroa as well. We talked about him yesterday. If you missed that, check out our episode from yesterday. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about the upcoming games. I also want to talk about a Mariners position player that kind of overlooking right now, who's on a little bit of a heater. We're going to be going over that in just a moment. But real quick, a reminder, this episode of Locked On Mariners is brought to you by Game Time. Buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is a fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets and their best price guarantee, you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun you'll have. So forget planning months in advance. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the day of the event. Snag the tickets without the stress with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, the lowest price, guaranteed. And you're listening to the Locked On Mariners postgame show. Thank you again for making us your first listen after the Mariners 9-2 win over the Detroit Tigers. Colby, you are smirking for some reason. You got a
we had a little bit of
what's going on?
A little bit of a glitch there.
Oh boy.
So I don't know how in sync we are right now. I don't know if your movements are going to match the audio when I upload the video. Now it's good. Right now it's good.
Okay.
But like it seemed like you jumped in the ad read 4 seconds.
Okay.
And so I'm like, uh-oh. So
well,
we'll see
at least we're fine right now. At least
we're
fine right now.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, if you guys are seeing this, that means that the episode went fine.
And if you're not seeing it, it means we decided not to do one because I'm not restarting 20 minutes in. So
fair point. Real quick before we jump into our next topic here, Just a reminder again that if you are out and about this weekend and you still want to be able to catch the Mariners and the Tigers, you can catch those games on the Mariners' hometown broadcast with SiriusXM via the SXM app. Colby, has this show been a bit more buttoned up for you? Has this been a bit more to your standard, to your liking?
Let me say this, since you talked about the comment section earlier. Your boos in the comment section do not impact me at whatsoever. I've seen what you cheer. Your opinion means nothing to me. That's right. I said it. That being said, make sure you like the video and subscribe. It helps the algorithm. So yeah.
Whenever we put out those Team Ty and Team Colby shirts, you just hurt your stock a little bit on the Team Colby side of things.
You know what? I'm not worried about it because you're never going to make them because you're lazy. So
fair.
See?
Fair.
Yeah, for those of you who are waiting for the Team Ty and Team Colby merch, it's never going to happen because Ty won't do it.
I need to get on that. No, I do need to get on. I need to get on some. I need to get on to, to doing some merch here in general, whether it's for the Patreon, whether it's
for like
here,
3 or 4 months now, but okay, sure.
Yeah.
Believe it when I see it.
Sure.
Got all weekend.
You know
buddy.
what? I'm moving on. Tom Murphy. He's someone that we haven't talked about a lot.
I say.
And he's on a little bit. Murphy is on a little bit of a heater right now.
Yeah.
He had another double tonight.
250.
Yeah, he had another double tonight. He was, I think he was 4 for his last 6 entering this game. He goes 1 for 4 tonight. He's up to 250, 283, 432. And his WRC plus heading into this game was 88. It's now up to 100. So Tom Murphy is officially a league average bat. Look at that.
Yeah, Tom Murphy is a better catcher than like 90% of other teams' number 1 catcher.
Yes. And the overreactions to his first couple weeks coming off of missing almost an entire MLB season with a shoulder injury were, again, just that, overreactions. So yeah, nice to see old Stompin' Tom is kicking right now.
Sure. No, he's been good. Like I think the reaction that is a little worrisome is that some people will be like, oh well, he should DH more, and it's like, should he? Like, you really want to open that door? You don't want to overexpose a guy, and Murphy again is coming off of major surgery. So I think using him the way they're using him right now makes a ton of sense. Doesn't mean he won't occasionally get an at-bat against right-handed or start against right-handed pitching, maybe even as a DH. Sure, you can do it once in a while, but like, let's calm down a little bit. Like, I think they're using Tom the right amount right now, and he's feeling it. And obviously the big home run against Texas, he has, I think, 3 or 4 doubles in his last 5 starts or so. Like, he's really starting to hit the ball. And he also drew a walk today. The on-base percentage, 288. That's not good. But for your backup catcher, if he's going to slug like he has and he's going to put up that 250 average, that's an everyday catcher in this league. That slash line right there is an everyday catcher, and he's your backup. Yep. Mariners catching situation continues to be in a really good shape so long as they both stay healthy. And yeah, we talked about this. You kind of we have to assume that the middle and the top of the order is going to get things going because they're just too talented not to. So when they do get going, you want to make sure that the bottom half of the order is carrying the load. And right now they're carrying the load and then some, but the bottom of the order, the JP Crawfords, the Colton Wong, the catcher situation, Caballero, depending on who he plays for, those guys need to make sure that they are still not zeros at the plate. And so far so good for really all of them, especially over the last few weeks when you look at what Colton Wong and Tom Murphy have done.
So let's talk about these next 2 games here this weekend. I would like for the Mariners to sweep this team. This is a team that they should be capable of sweeping. Obviously, baseball is tough, and ultimately,
sweeps are hard.
Sweeps are very hard. But that would be my preference. Just putting that out there. And the Mariners are in a pretty good spot on the pitching front, at least. Bryce Miller going tomorrow. Really excited to see his 3rd career start. And Logan Gilbert on Sunday against Joey Wentz. So let's talk about those 2 guys, Miller and Gilbert. Just kind of what are your expectations? Let's specifically focus on Miller, who again making his third career start. What do we think about Miller going up against this Tigers lineup?
Really good matchup for him. The Tigers are a team that struggle with high spin rate fastballs. They are the worst team in baseball against that particular pitch. What is Bryce Miller's specialty? The high spin rate fastball at the top of the zone. Most of the dangerous hitters in this lineup, which is like 2, are right-handed. So with the exception of Riley Green, the matchup works pretty well for Miller. So again, do I think he's going to go 6 shutout innings again? No, probably not. It'd be great if he did. I wouldn't be shocked if he did, but I wouldn't count on it. I think my expectations for him tomorrow, 5-6 innings, 1 or 2 runs, just, don't implode, give the offense a shot to work. And if you can, anything you get over that is a bonus. But in theory, as we always talk about, the matchup for the next 2 days with both Logan Gilbert and Bryce Miller and their fastballs up in the zone, that bodes really well in this particular matchup. We'll see if it works out that way. You never know. This is the league's third look at Miller, so they're going to make adjustments. We already saw adjustments between start 1 and 2. It's going to adjust. They're going to adjust again. Will it matter? Are the Tigers talented enough to take advantage of the new knowledge that they have on Miller? We'll see. Miller's got to be sharp. He can't be in the middle of the zone, but that's true of every pitcher against every team in Major League Baseball. So I think as long as Miller carries roughly the same stuff that he's carried his first 2 times out, he's got a shot to go, and have another really quality, the super quality start thing or whatever. He's got a shot to go out there and do exactly that yet again against Detroit. So it's a good matchup for him.
Yeah, really interested to see if, given the opponent, if he experiments a little bit more, maybe mixes in the breaking stuff a little bit more than he has the last couple of or the first couple of starts that he's had. Might be a good opportunity for him to do that, because next start for him is Atlanta.
Atlanta is best in baseball at hitting Bryce Miller's secret weapon. So
yeah,
we'll see. We shall see.
Yeah. So again, might be a good time to work on the breaking stuff.
Nah. My best versus your best. Let's do it. Let's see whose best is better. But no, again, if you're Miller, it's just, you got to be yourself. You got to stick to your attack plan. You got to stick to your strength. You can't really worry about what the opponent's going to do, especially before an opponent really makes you pay for your strength. Nobody's beaten Bryce Miller yet. And I don't mean in the win-loss column. I just mean nobody
hasn't gotten got yet.
Yeah, nobody's gotten him yet. So I think you stick with the game plan. But we've seen Miller we know probably the game plan. A lot of fastballs the first time through the order. Then he'll start flipping in a couple of first pitch sliders the second time through. And my guess is we'll see 4 or 5 strikeouts first time through the order, probably just 1 or 2 the rest of the game, as hitters adjust to the game plan and the pitch that they know they're going to get. So yeah, I think as long as he can avoid those long innings, he should be able to go 6 innings and give Seattle a really, really good shot to win tomorrow's game, and give them an opportunity to be greedy on Sunday morning for most of us. And by the way, just a reminder, tomorrow's game is 10 o'clock first pitch. So yay.
And you can catch it on the Mariners hometown broadcast with SiriusXM via the SXM app. There we go. There's our 3.
Set them up. Yet again. Knock it out of the park.
There we go.
But yeah.
Now I assume the analysis here is about the same for Gilbert, because
pretty much.
In general too, with Miller and Gilbert, they are pretty similar in terms of how they approach things. So it's whatever the game plan is for Miller, that's pretty much the game plan for Gilbert as well. So
sure, Gilbert's a little more capable of mixing in the slider and the curveball, and the split, although he's using it a little bit less right now than he was at the beginning of the year. That seems like a game plan thing and fatigue thing. So but essentially it really is. It's the fastball at the top of the zone. If you can stay at the top shelf, get a couple of called strikes up there, expand the zone upward, then you can really expand it side to side with the sliders and the curveball. So yeah, I think it's essentially the same strategy. I just think Gilbert's obviously just got a better counter punch than Miller has right now. At least that we know of. We haven't really seen
Right.
Miller have to go to his counterpunch in his first 2 starts. Maybe we'll see it tomorrow, but yeah, I think you have to feel really good about the pitching matchups the next 2 days, which we've said pretty much every day for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
This is the best pitching staff in baseball
yeah,
statistically.
I mean,
So
you should feel pretty good going up against anybody.
yeah,
But yeah, it's nice. The Mariners won 8 of their last 11. Go out there, try and get 2 more, get above 500, and then just stay above 500 so we don't have to keep yo-yoing with this line. And again, a win tomorrow, and the Mariners will be above 500 for the first time since opening day.
that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long ride back up, and but regardless, the Mariners are playing really good baseball right now, and I know some people are still panicking because they'll say 20-20. Oh, well, that's not very good or whatever, and it's like, well, it's not, but they're also trending in the right direction. So, yeah, tomorrow, just how about just another 9-2 win? Like, can we just have like another easy breezy, like,
That would be cool. Beautiful cover girl.
like, sure, like, do we have to win 3-2 tomorrow, or can we win like 6-1? That might be nice. Back-to-back games like that.
Right.
I wouldn't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah, win the series, and then break out the brooms on Sunday, please.
Get greedy.
Yeah, I would like that very much. That would be, again, as I said earlier, my preference. That's going to do it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Locked On Mariners postgame show. For Colby Patnode, I'm Tigers Gonzales. Be sure to give us a follow on Twitter at LO_Mariners. You can follow me at Dane Gonzalez, DANEGNZLZ, and Colby at CPAT11, that's CPAT11. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well over at Locked On Mariners. That's one word, Locked On Mariners. You can also find all that stuff in the description of this episode. Thank you again for making us your first listen after the Mariners' 9-2 win over the Detroit Tigers. And you can catch the Mariners and the Tigers the next 2 days on the Mariners hometown broadcast with SiriusXM via the SXM app. And with that, have yourself a beautiful baseball night, and we'll see you next time. Peace.